Turning to health. Behavior changes such as anger and aggression can make caring for a loved one with dementia challenging. Tzohar Ad 120 through 120 together with the Alzheimer's Association of Israel is holding a free online panel this Wednesday at 8 p.m. that will provide ethical, halachic, and professional guidance on the matter. We heard more from Rabbi Yuval Cherlow, director of the Tzohar Center for Jewish Ethics. We are speaking with Rabbi Yuval Cherlow, director of the Tzohar Center for Jewish Ethics, and this ahead of a panel that will be held later this week by the Ad 120 through 120 organization addressing challenges surrounding care for dementia patients. So tell us a little bit about the organization and its approach to dealing with this issue that many families encounter.
Tzohar Ad 120, sports the 120, is actually a group of rabbis and social workers under the center, the Ethics Center of the Tzohar Rabbinical Organization, that is providing a lot of advice to many families that are debating decision before death. I mean, if to ventilate, if nutrition, and all those issues. We have a special team that is trained and coordinated to do that, and we have a hotline and a whatever you need in order to get this advice. Under this topic, recently we discovered that dementia is much more complicated because it's not only decisions before death. It's decisions can be for decades, for a family from the beginning, to identify, to decide if to send to a institute or to stay at home or whatever, how to share our demands and obligations towards our family and towards our parents, etc. Now, this panel is really a very special one because when people hear dementia, they usually think about declining. I mean, that memory leaves a person cannot remember and cannot recognize whatever, and actually he's declining in what to do in those situations. But there is also a version of dementia where it's the opposite. I mean, our parent becomes very, very active, aggressive, with violence, with yelling and behaving in a very, very problematic way. And the families are really, really confused. What can we do? What is the right thing to do? So therefore, the panel will have a profession from the medical point of view, from a geriatric, all those issues. And my part will be halacha and ethics. For instance, are you permitted to give a psychiatrist medicine without an informed consent to our parent in order that he will relax or whatever? So these are the topics that we are going to deal in this panel.
You mentioned the halachic questions. Are there also questions? Much of it is about how to care for the patient, the individual who has dementia, but as you also noted, this can be a situation that can continue for many years. So it's also how do the caregivers process this, relate to the individual? How do they address their feelings as well? There are medical questions. It's a very emotional issue as well.
Absolutely. And one of the principles of the halacha, and even I can call it a pillar, that if people think that the only mitzvah order that we have is to honor our parents, it's not right. I mean, there is a great mitzvah, it's in the 10 Commandments, but it's not the only thing. We have, the halacha insists that we'll take care of ourselves. The halacha insists that we'll remember that we have a wife or a husband, or we have children, and we have to, distribute or divide our attention towards everyone. It's much more complicated, and I think that people are really, most of the time, it's not the first panel that we have, but most of the time are really surprised because there were educated and trained that the only thing that is important is the patient, and then when you learn how the variety of factors that should shape our behavior, I think it's really very interesting. It is helpful because you don't feel sorry constantly and with problems with your conscience. You really understand that we have to do a lot of things, and we must take care of ourselves, of our family, of our children. We must work. It's much more complicated, as I said.
So will this panel also provide hands-on information or further information about resources and contacts for whatever is relevant for those who are participating or attending?
Yes, we have a really huge website. It was translated into English too, and we have a hotline with also for English speakers. You can find the number on the website, and but I think that people will get the understanding that really when you go into all the factors and all the pillars that are building our behavior towards our parents, even when they are very, very violent, then they'll come and ask what to do and understand that it's not a plain answer that you can say, we are always committed only to our parents. We have to take care and we have to be very careful that other people too will not get injured, and to balance between all those commitments.
There certainly can be a sense of helplessness in such a situation.
That's right. That's right. And, the first thing that we must learn is to understand that many times we need assistance, we need help. And it's not a shame. The stupid thing will be not to use all kinds of places or all kinds of institutes that can provide this assistance. And many times, instead of being, with ourselves, talking and understanding and learning and, having help with making decisions is the right thing to do.
And when will all of this be happening, and how can one get information?
It's going to be on Wednesday night, 8 o'clock, on Zoom, so people can participate. We always have hundreds, really, of people that are participating in our webinars, and you can find all the details in our website, Tzohar Ad 120, AD Ad 120, and you can find it there without any problems.
Rabbi Yuval Cherlow, director of the Tzohar Center for Jewish Ethics, and more information can be found on the website ad120.tzohar.org.il. Before the weather and return headlines, here